If you're either starting out as an interior designer or decorator, or maybe you've been in the business for a couple of years, at some point this question creeps in. Do I need a design degree to make this work? And it could be because you're just feeling unsure, or maybe you've had some inconsistent results, or maybe your clients are questioning you more than you thought they would. At some point the doubt lands here. Is it because I don't have a design degree? And that's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. If you want to become, or you already are, an interior designer without a degree, I want to share with you the 5 ingredients that will stabilize your business. And I'm not talking about going back and doing more study or more theory, but from one interior designer without a degree to another, I want to share with you what took me from uncertainty and incomplete projects to confident finished work. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe bell so you're notified of the weekly videos coming through on the interior design business and real world advice. So I did this 5 things years ago, and it really helped me create a portfolio and just feel like every job was not a new gamble. So I now help solo interior designers and decorators get through this without needing a degree, and I absolutely can't wait to get started with you today. But I do want to put a disclaimer in here. If you want to go and work in a commercial space, if you want to go and work for a design office, then you may need to consider going and getting a design degree. If you're looking at creating a wonderful new reality for yourself as a solo interior designer or decorator in the residential space, then stick with me because this is going to be relevant to you. It's not about commercial work. I do strongly advise you to investigate going and getting further study if you need to do that. So essential number 1 is pick your lane. Are you somebody that loves the technical side of drawing, or you really love kitchen and bath or joinery design? If this is you, then go all out into that. That's not something I love to do, but if you love to do that, then focus on that. You don't have to go to and get a degree in design to be able to do that. There are independent courses that will teach you programs like AutoCAD or Revit or SketchUp, for example. But if that's your lane, then go and just get the study in the areas that are really going to help enhance that strength that you have as a designer. If you're a decorator like me, I can't design a kitchen to save my life. I couldn't ever really even learn SketchUp. But I do know about fabrics and color and all those wonderful decorative elements to creating a beautiful room. So if that's your element, if it's the design, but more in the decorating side, then focus on that. You might have a natural aptitude in the way that you can work with color or fabrics, or maybe you want to spend some time in showrooms and learn more about the fabric compositions, etc. This will all come with time, and you can learn all this information on the job. But I think the key thing here is to pick your lane. What is it that you really want to do? And whatever you feel is coming natural to you, then delve into that. I tried for months and months with a private tutor to learn SketchUp, and guess what? I still didn't like doing it. I didn't really have the aptitude to do it properly, and I didn't want to focus my energies on having to build things in a model and kind of work that way. I ended up just being happy as a decorator, so now I outsource those drawings. So the key thing I want to say to you is just pick your area of expertise and lean into that. Essential number 2 is turn that lane into a clear offer. If you love to design kitchen and bath, then come up with packages and go and approach builders or contractors offering a complete package to help their clients that come to them and have no idea about what they want to do or the direction, and they haven't come to a designer beforehand. You can offer packages to support in that area. If you're a decorator like me, I prefer to go and do public speaking events in retail showrooms where they're selling wonderful accessories and items to clients that have that decorating flair or wanting to really beautify their home, maybe not as much as, say, getting a kitchen bath done. It's the decorative side of things. So I go and do talks that way, and I meet new clients via that avenue. But really get into what it is, grab the lane that you want to be working in, and then create services that really hone in on that, and then go and speak to the people that are going to help you to promote those services. So there's plenty of ways to do that, but I think you really need to pick the lane that you're most comfortable in and then drive all of your marketing efforts into that avenue. Essential number 3 is you've got to finish the projects and photograph them. This is super important. So many of us go along, we do a job, and then we kind of let the whole thing go without actually scheduling in any photographs. Now, there's a whole process I've got around that in my turnkey design success system that really enables us to do that. But the one thing I want to say to you now is that you must build a portfolio, and the way to build the portfolio is through photographed work. So at some point, you've got to make a concerted effort to get beautiful photos to build that portfolio. The only way that we really get new clients is via the last client, and we must document that process with photographs. So whether or not we have a design degree doesn't really make a difference, but to get that business moving and get more clients in the door, we have to show what we've done as proof of concept. We have to photograph our work. So whether or not you've already done a job and it was a good job but you didn't kind of schedule in time to get photos, go back and speak to the client. Let them know that you think it was a wonderful outcome and that you'd really love to go in and take those photos. If you're going to make any investment, not necessarily in study but in photography, go ahead and do it. It is always worth the investment in photography because you only get a limited time really to have the opportunity to take photos. And once this job's done, who knows what it's going to look like a few months down the track. So as soon as you possibly can, do yourself a favor. If you're going to invest any money into what you do, invest it in photography and proudly show that on your website and in your socials. It's absolutely worth doing. Make sure you photograph your projects. Essential number 4 is understanding the process. Now, you don't have to do everything yourself. For example, I don't do design drawings. I don't do kitchen and bath. But what I do is I understand the process. So I work with an interior design professional that does feel confident with the drawing and has that experience. And what I do is I just talk through the whole process with this qualified, competent person. And I understand through experience over time how things work, and I'm able to eloquate all of that to a client. So for example, in a kitchen, I know that I need to have the client really pinpoint what PC items they need in the kitchen. Clients normally want to pick their oven. They know the type of fridge that they want, and they will want to specify those products as opposed to just getting us to pick all of that for them. But what I do know is they need to pick all of that stuff, and we need all that sizing, before we can build the joinery around that. So whatever it is, it's a basic example, but you need to know all the details. Even if you don't actually do the drawings like I'm talking about, you need to understand the where and the why behind it. It's if you don't like the decorating, it's fine, but you do need to understand, say, the makeup of the fabric if you're involved in specifying furnishings for a project. So really do understand what it is you deliver. As I was saying, you don't have to be the person that's as competent as the next person, but you need to have at least basic competence in that to be successful. And essential number 5 is confidence in your process. So as you move through, as the years go by, you want to really have fine-tuned a design process that you can clearly eloquate to a client. And if you're asked any questions about your process, you're coming back with a firm and fair answer straight away. So for example, I have a design fee and I charge 100% for that design fee. I'm not going to go back in dribs and drabs and take progress payments, because I take a laser focused brief from the client at the consultation. I work out what they do and they don't want, and then I will take that away and develop that within a few weeks and come back with a complete design plan. So I ask for 100% payment because there really is no point where I stop and check in with the client and then ask for more money. I do 100% of the work up front and I ask for 100% of the payment up front. Now I have a contract also that notates that whole process in there. But what I want to say to you here is that you need to be confident in that process and be able to speak to any part of your process with absolute clarity to be successful. So the last thing here is create a process. If you've got some leaky parts in the process, tighten them up and go out there and be able to eloquate exactly what you do with absolute precision anytime you're asked from your client. So that was the 5 essentials for today, and I hope you found that helpful. Now, if you're still feeling stuck and you'd like to reach out to me and have a chat about what's happening in your business, feel free to do so. Email me at askadam@turnkeydesign.success.com and we can have a 30-minute complimentary chat about what's going on in your business. And if you're still feeling like you're not sure about whether or not you needed that design degree, watch this video back. Most designers don't need a lot more training certainly not going back to school for 3 or 4 years. They just need clarity and confidence in their process. And the one thing I'd like you to remember is that you're not behind, you are building. And if you liked that video, please leave me a comment, like and subscribe. I'll be dropping videos every week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye for now.